Howdy folks and welcome to Brain Rotters. We're going to be talking about Loki episode 3 and all its guts and glory, Easter eggs, details you missed, and everything you missed. Enjoy this, stay with me on this one. The song that brings us into the episode is called Demons by Hayley Kiyoko. One of the lyrics in the song says that someone's got demons in their head, alluding to the fact that Lady Loki or Sylvie is the demon in people's head when she casts her enchantments on them. So when Sylvie initially goes to the TVA, she quickly finds out that her magic is no good there, but shouldn't she know if she's known about the TVA this long, or the fact that Mobius, even Sylvie, has alluded to the fact of being there before? Not sure if that's on purpose, or if she is lying to Loki about the TVA, or if it's just a coincidence or consistency issue here. Loki and Sylvie drop out of the TVA and into Lamentis 1 in 2077. In the Marvel Comics, Lamentis 1 is called Lamentis Outworld, and it lies on the very edge of the pocket of space that the Kree holds. It's part of a comic called Annihilation Conquest, where we meet a character like Quasar for the first time, a worthy advocate for the Captain Marvel name or mantle, being Kree herself. So maybe she's the Captain Marvel of 2077, where this apocalypse takes place. When Loki and Sylvie initially arrive on Lamentis 1, the two have a brief scuffle, with Loki pulling the same move on Sylvie that he did with Coulson, projecting a version of himself that isn't there, only to pop out behind and strike. I've been referring to Lady Loki as Sylvie this whole time because she is officially Enchantress or Sylvie Lushin from the Marvel Comics, except the show has more than introduced her as being a Loki herself. However, it hasn't exactly proven herself trustworthy, so should we say that she is a Loki, or could she just be lying and actually be the Sylvie Lushin Enchantress from the Marvel Comics that Loki gives powers to? The homesteader on Lamentis that Loki and Sylvie run into calls her husband Patrice when Loki turns into Patrice. The only other Marvel character named that is actually an X-Men character named Frostbite, or Patrice Cahill. So, who you can imagine has ice abilities, but this is Marvel yet again teasing the X-Men's future involvement into the MCU. The arc on Lamentis 1 is paying homage to the arc that the Dark Elves call their ships, the Dark Elves being in Thor the Dark World also starring Loki. The guards continue to say that they are all headed to Sharu, or they have tickets to Sharu, which I believe is the city's name in the episode. Hey, you made this far, you might as well subscribe if you're new, as well as hitting that bell for notifications so you don't miss another video just like this one. Sylvie says she has a guy waiting for her. If you don't know, in the comics, the Sylvie Lushin Enchantress has a relationship with Wiccan, also known as Wanda's kid. So what if she knows Wanda's kid from her timeline? Wouldn't it make sense that Sylvie and Wiccan both have magical abilities, so naturally they will be drawn to each other? But that also means that this Enchantress must have been born in 2020, like the kids were, or she met Wiccan in the future when she was time hopping. Like, could this Lady Loki be from the future? What do you think? With the train carrying people in the end of the world happening, I couldn't help but think of the arc as Marvel paying homage to Snowpiercer, a movie about a train in the end of the world carrying people. If you didn't catch it, Loki says the iconic another line when he wants another drink, like Thor from the original Thor movie did with his drink. Loki gets a new ability in this with his green projectile, something he uses prominently in the comics. When Loki falls out of the train, he hits the ground and has the exact same face, exact same hand placement as when in Thor 3 Ragnarok when he shouts he's been falling for 30 minutes. The same kind of scene. We got a Mantis parallel when Sylvie explains her powers in enchanting people, getting into their heads, says she can only enter her mind or enter their mind if the person's mind is weak. If it's strong, it's harder to enter, to control, to manipulate, which we know is how Mantis operates with her empath abilities. For Drax, she can manipulate his emotions because he's not strong-minded, whereas Thanos was hard to manipulate his emotions to calm him down because he is very strong-minded and incredibly strong-willed, even more so than Drax. Like the green projectile, we learn Loki has the powers to levitate items, buildings, heavy ones. You just have to wonder why he hasn't levitated himself this whole time, giving himself powers of flight, so maybe he'll get that at the end of the series. The song that we close out the episode to is Dark Moon by Jim Reeves. Listen to one of these lyrics. Mortals have dreams of love's perfect schemes. We know that throughout one of the scenes in the episode, Loki and Sylvie discuss love, their ideas of it, and schemes. Really? Come on, do I have to explain the schemes parallel here? They're Loki's. So folks, what'd you think of this breakdown? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. I appreciate you all watching, the massive support recently as well. Thank you. Couldn't appreciate it more enough. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day, okay?